Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I kind of want to share a game I had yesterday against one of those notorious Tughlaq fort spammers on ladder. And there are quite a lot of people playing this cheese strategy right now, and I kind of wanted to use my POV to share some tips on how to survive and win against this strategy, since it's quite annoying to play against this cheese. As you can see, my opponent played almost 600 games of Tughlaq since the last patch in February, almost exclusively playing this cheesy playstyle. So he has a lot of experience and success with it. But with any cheese, there are still ways to win, even though the matches are tougher. So let's get started. In this case, I'm playing Golden Horde, and it's kind of wanted to do the exact build order I uploaded a few days ago. Switching to my POV. Sending one to... I can work with every Civ, but because I'm kind of like enjoying Golden Horde right now, I'm spamming them way too much. Kind of want to share my POV of Golden Horde in this case. So, I'm sending 2 to gold right now, and I'm already getting like a dangerous vibe that he's gonna Dark Age rush me, because normally you're not immediately scouting across the map towards my gold with Tughlaq. So either it's gonna be a Dark Age rush or a fort spam and an early feudal once, because usually you're always the last one to age up as Golden Horde. In this case, my opponent is Dark Age rushing me. Quite annoying, yes, Golden Horde. So I'm just gonna send a few more villagers so I get 200 gold total. I was kind of not prepared for a Dark Age rush in this case, so I could have made walls or a tower. But you usually don't see Tughlaq players Dark Age rush, so I wasn't even scouting for it. It's kind of bad of mine, but doesn't matter in this case. So now I'm just gonna go speed up a little bit, just gonna age up. Got a little pretty good sheep distribution, not a lot of sheep, pretty ideal. Had a little bit of idle time here because I was missing sheep, so I sent someone wood. You don't want your builds to be AFK. And now he's doing like one of those annoying things as like every Delta player and Tughluq player can do with the army. Build fucking palisade walls around your resources. It's really annoying. So I said, fuck it man, I need some more food. And I went and built a tower and a deer. This is ideal. And now I'm scouting. You kind of want to see if he's actually going onto the stone or not. But like almost every Tughlaq player goes on stone. So you always want to, if you're aging up to fuel, see what your opponent does. Now I'm seeing that he's gathering quite a lot of stone. Almost 600 already gathered. But I think here I'm doing like a bad job. In this case, you should actually kind of stay in front of his base. I think I'm kind of missing... Yeah, I'm staying here, but I think I was too late. Yeah, immediately sending my Khan across the map, because I kind of want to rest him, because my assumption was he's gonna place the first fort here on his gold, because he has already his houses prepared, so it's most likely food governor. But right now, once you have this kind of vision, your opponent is already feudal age, and you don't see a fort right here now, fucking alarm bells should like go off on your brain. I think I already moved out on the second gold here, because I wanted to bet some upgrades, etc. But in this case, I was really bad with my scouting. I didn't see when he moved out. So he can already get up his first fort here. This is like the worst case scenario. You don't have units here. You can't deny it. In this case, I'm immediately sending my Khan back. And I'm not losing a witcher. Yeah, I'm not losing a witcher. Immediately, this is like one of those greedy, high-risk cheese strategies that every Tughlaq player does. In this case, if he didn't Dark Age rush me, I still would assume that he goes immediately across the map with his villagers and builds a fucking fort at my face. Because that's what like most of these people do that play the strategy. So I would recommend, the first thing first, if you play against Tughlaq, immediately scout his base and see if he's actually placing his first fort on his gold around his houses for like the food governor or not. Because if you don't see it immediately upon aging up, because usually they already have 400 gold once they hit feudal and can immediately build a fort. If you don't see it immediately, You need to have like a... see where he moved out across the map with his villagers and scout around your base. Usually he kind of Tughluq players kind of want to place it on your food resources or gold / wood line, right? So kind of scout where your majority of your food is. For example, I have 2 deer packs here, so it's kind of ideal for him to place it here. And I think against this type of strategy, if you kind of decide, or you kind of want to play 2 TC, I would recommend delaying your TC by a minute or 2. I would recommend going for an early or immediately building an archer range, or like, yeah, rather have an archer range upon aging up and build a few archers. So you can actually, in this case, with another Civ, I would be up to feudal age way earlier and could have already have like 5 or 6 archers here on the field. And then you can actually, if you scouted it correctly, actually killed a lot of villagers. But in this case, I was kind of not ideal, so I could only kill 1 villager with my Khan here. But I take it. The fort is quite a far away from my main base, so it's fine. Because even though these men-at-arms and feudal are really tanky, they're kind of useless outside of the fort, right? Because as you can see, he walked outside the fort range and immediately, like 2-3 seconds later, he's already losing armor and HP. Because if you don't know, they lose all their armor, or they lose up to all the 5 ranged armor and even a lot of HP. I think they go under 100 HP once they're outside of the range for an extended period of time. So even though they seem like really OP, if he can't actually extend his fort line across towards my base here, right? If he just walks towards my base right now, I can still kill him. They do nothing once they're outside of this fort range. They're just annoying to deal with. So in this case, I'm still spamming units. You kind of want to spam units with him because, as you can see, he's solely relying on his man-at-arms to keep himself. But in this case, I already have 6 archers on the field and I can spam... Oh yeah, I can just right-click his villagers and kill a lot of them. And because he's not building any other units, he's not adding anything, you can also move across the map and get the other resources. You don't have to actually clear this. You can just ignore this if your Tughlaq opponents decide to palisade wall your stone, your gold. So in this case, they're outside of the fort range for quite a lot of time, and they're already -3. They only have 2 ranged armor now, and I only have 130 health. And they're still losing periodically. I think it's like every 10 seconds they lose 1 armor and a little bit of health. So the only thing that's worrying you don't want to deal with is if he's building it like right next to your base, because then it can become quite annoying. But in this case, having him build it right, like it feels like 2 screens away from my main TC, it's kind of fine. That's where you want it to be. In this case, I already have my Khan and Torgo on the field. I'm already building Keshiks, because Keshiks are kind of good against these army warriors, right? Hit against it. Now I kind of want to raid, annoy him a little bit. So I already could kill 4 villagers, so I know I'm economically ahead. I'm on the deer. And now he's already upgraded his fort once, as you can see. So there gets even more of them, and they become more powerful. Kind of crazy. Now he tries to do it again. It's like every Tughlaq player that once he tastes one victory with this strategy, they always do it again and again. So in this case, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm A-moving all my melee units. And with my archers, I could have actually moved a little bit better here, but in this case I just want to snipe down his villagers. Because even if he can get this fort up, he lost a lot of villagers. He's already 11 villagers behind. I think I can still kill 1 or 2 more. 12 villagers behind. No. And remember, even though he gets men-at-arms from his fort, you always should add spearmen into the mix. Because once he sees like your archers, they always go with raider elephants, and spears kinda demolish them in feudal age. So always add spears. They're really essential. Yeah. Now we're just trying to make it as hard as possible for him. He lost 13 villagers, we have 13 villagers ahead, and with Golden Horde, you're naturally gonna get ahead in villagers at some point because you built them cheaper, right? Not cheaper, but they only take 37 seconds for 2 villagers, so at some point you will have more on 1 TC against 1 TC opponent. So in this case he gets the fort up, quite annoying, but I could kill 14 villagers, so I know I'm ahead now. There's like no reason for me to engage right here. I'm walking outside of his fort range because you should try to not fight under these forts because once they're upgraded, like even once, they kind of act like mini white towers in feudal age, so they're really powerful. So if possible, don't try to fight underneath them. And now, because I know he lost a lot of villagers, he's economically behind, he can't actually spam a lot of units, I can immediately walk outside of my base, get on the map, get the boar, get all the resources. I don't have to go into any how are they called, stockyards. Any stockyards here or farms. You don't have to add them now. You can just get the natural resources. And as you can see, they always try to play greedy with like almost no units. So always try to add archers early in so you can snipe the villagers that are building the fort and aim with your melee units. I'm just trying to see where he's getting his resources from. Trying to get across the map. So always try to add like 1 or 2 horsemen so you can actually walk across the map, pressure him at home. It's quite important. And now I thought like maybe I can get it down. Destroy one of those forts. So I'm adding in a little bit of ramps. Got the upgrade. Remember, I think I'm gonna get it anytime soon. Oh, in this case, I actually was lazy and didn't bother adding a tower, but let this be a lesson. Always build like a tower on the outside resources. So I lost 6 villagers here, but it's really bad, but we killed already 15, we are quite ahead. And in this case he kind of failed already at this point of his cheese strategy. He's still trying to get damage. I'm gnawing in at home, I can kill even more villagers because he's kind of distracted, he doesn't know what to do. He only relies on this kind of strategy, so he doesn't have any backup plan. So, in this case, as you can see, it takes some time, but they're outside of the fort now for quite some time. They only have 2 armor, now only 1. Almost only 100 HP, and archers can kill them in feudal age now. So, if you can't extend his forts towards your base, they're kinda useless actually. Now I can just pressure him. 2 forts are enough because if it's not upgraded, if this fort would be upgraded, I needed 1 more ram, 3 rams total, but because it's only level 1, it's a standard one for 400 stone, 2 rams are enough. Yeah. And in this case, I think the game's kinda over. I'm still making it way too hard for myself here because I'm losing villagers unnecessarily to some stupid spearman raids. But I think the fort is going down. He doesn't have any villagers here, if I remember correctly. And try to bait them outside of the fort range. That's really important, so they actually lose the HP. Don't try to fight these men-at-arms under the forts. That's really important. Now, as you can see, we were ahead in villagers the whole time, so economy is better. We can get to castle age before our opponent. And with Golden Horde especially, if you can reach this castle age safely and survive the first 3 minutes, then it's kinda game over. Especially with this kind of lead. Okay, I think I'm kinda gonna let it play out here from this point on. Kinda like the Rally Gurus, as I said in the guide. Really like the additional stone, etc. In exchange for not having little ranged armor. So I'm still making it way harder for myself than it should be, losing unnecessary villagers. Should have just walled at this point, but it's a desperate attempt from him because he It's kind of very far behind. He already added a second CC, but it doesn't matter at this point. We already have a lot of stockyards, safe food, etc. We can get all the relics. Yeah. But this is how you kind of survive and deal against Tughlaq fort rushes. Always scout where the first fort, where he builds his first fort. Because if they already gathered like 400 stone fuel age and you don't see it immediately being built on the, or like almost always on the goal where all the houses are for like the extra food governor, right? If you don't see it immediately, alarm bells should go off on your brain. You need to actually really look around your base, see where he tries to cheese rush you with these army warriors, right? And what I would recommend against this, when you like want to play the ladder, I would recommend vetoing or like banning the map cliffside, just because the distance between both you and the opponent is quite, there's like almost no distance, right? He can immediately fort rush you, and if he does it correctly, it's kind of hard to deny it on that map if you're not playing like Lancaster or English, where you can use your villagers as like military units, right, to snipe his villagers. So I would recommend, if you're not playing these specific two civs, just veto cliffside if you hate playing against this cheese strategy. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope this kind of helped you out survive against this strategy on the ladder, because it's quite annoying to play against, and I hope kind of gets I wouldn't say completely nerfed, but kind of tweaked so they're not that broken, the man-at-arms under the forts, and maybe only make them actually get buffed under this one specific fort where they have to appoint the governor, right, and not under every other fort. So you can't do this line of forts across your base or like around your base where you can have all these buff men-at-arms. Yeah, but that's for like a future patch, hopefully. Alright, I hope this helps you out. Climb a little bit on the ladder, have a better experience, I guess, against this type of cheese. And if this kind of helps you out, this information, please leave a like and maybe subscribe. Until next time.